This week I got an amazing gift from one of my viewers. They donated a ton of painting supplies that they're not using anymore. And when I say a ton of painting supplies, I mean a ton. This box alone weighs a good 40 pounds. So let me show you what she gave me. The gift included a gallon of glue wall and, I don't know, 40 or so paints, a couple of strainers, a bunch of different split cups, and different attachments to use. Looks like another strainer here, a bunch of canvases, some GAC 800, color pouring medium. Oh man, a bunch of these Vallejo pouring mediums, a bunch of canvases, more canvases in here. And she decided she was going to move on to bigger and better things. Oh, another Vallejo pouring medium. So, knowing that I was close to where she lived, she contacted me on social media and we connected and she donated all of this. Thank you very much, Shannon. I really appreciate this donation. It's going to go a long way to help me keep creating content on this channel. But for the rest of you, I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to use all of this. And I don't want it to go to waste. So for those people in the United States, unfortunately right now it's too expensive to ship out of the US. But for those people in the United States, if you comment on this video, I'm going to give out one of these Vallejo pouring medium bottles and maybe a few random other things. So leave a comment below. If you are chosen, I will contact you in the comments and we'll figure out how to get the stuff shipped to you. I'll probably leave this open for about a week. So from the time this video goes until a week after, and then I'll close it and choose the winners there. But because I have all this new paint, I think what we're going to do is try and select some stuff out of here and create something out of it. So first thing we need to do is choose a canvas type. I got a bunch in there, I got a bunch in here. I think I'd prefer to go big. So we'll do one of these Artist Loft 16 by 20 level 1 canvases. That'll be great. For a pouring medium, I got all this glue. I actually already have some glue here already made up, so I'm going to use it. But essentially I'm going to use glue, just like we got here. And then I think it's fitting that we use one of these. Probably this multi-chamber one. And so we'll do a multi-chamber cut pour, maybe a tree ring pour, because I heard that Shannon actually really liked that. So we'll put that out here. And then we need some colors. There are a lot of really bright colors in here. Fluorescent pink. I think we could do some colors around fluorescent pink. So let's try that first. Maybe an emerald green. I wonder if we can find something dark in here. Maybe a hooker's green. I think that could work. And then some white. What do we think about that? I'm sorry, got a lot of glare there. I think we could get a nice painting out of this. And maybe I'll use some of my Vallejo pouring medium with the white, see if we can't get some of those cells that Fiona and others get with that pouring medium. So let's clean this up and I'll be right back. All right, so as I set this up, I realized that this canvas had, I had put too much weight on it. See how it has little, see how loose that is? It has little divots, and you can kind of see the frame on the outside. We don't want that. And it's actually really easy to fix, generally. Just going to take a bottle of water, turn this over, grab a little rag here. I'm just going to try and evenly spray that. It's not quite tacky, so I'm going to do that one more time. I didn't see any big dollops of water that time. And then generally you can just let it dry. I like to hold it, and I'm not holding it by the canvas, I'm holding it by the frame. I just take my... And now those little divots have gone away, and I have a much firmer canvas. Now, one thing you will notice, especially on the lower quality canvases, let me show you over here. Sometimes you can get a little pull from the corner. As long as I don't put too much water on it and it pulls, that I think evens out as I pour. So I don't worry about that too much. But that got a lot of the pressure out of it. And really all that's happening is you're wetting these little strands of fiber, and then when they dry, they bunch up, kind of like your clothes when you dry clothes on high, and they start to shrink. That's essentially what's happening here. We're shrinking these just a little teeny tiny bit to tighten up that canvas. So for the colors, I decided Hooker's Green was a little bit too dark for this, so I replaced it with Lime Green, and then I added a Sky Blue. One, because I'm going to use this, which is has 6 openings, so I'm going to use those colors, and then some Vallejo pouring medium with my white. So those are my 6 colors for this split cup. And I'm just going to do 2 parts glue to 1 part pouring medium, and 2 parts glue to 1 part paint, and then water to get consistency. And then for the white, I'm actually going to do 1 part paint, 1 part pearl medium, and then 1 part glue, and then water to consistency. So let me get those mixed up, and then we will do this pour. Alright, so I mixed up all my paints. I did do a consistency check to make sure that all of them were about the same consistency. I did have to add some water to a few. So let's add paint to our cup here. I'm actually going to do it off of here just so I don't create more dents in my pour. So I got to think about these colors. I don't want all of the colors to mix, or else I'm going to get kind of a brown, which we don't want. So I think what I want to do is go white, the greens, maybe do it like this and have white in between. Actually, maybe do it like this. So white on one side. Again, Liquitex Basics Lime Green, then Master's Touch Emerald Green, then the Master's Touch Sky Blue, the Essentials Magenta, and the Fluorescent Pink. And then I have my Artist Loft White, again with pouring medium, and this is all with glue. So let's do that first. Going to fill these up almost all the way. These are a little bit thin. So that only used up about half the paint. And again, this is the 16 by 20 canvas, which means it's 320 square inches on top, plus the 20 on the side makes 340, plus the 16 on the other side makes 356. Divide that by 25, and that gives us the amount of ounces in paint that we need. I have a calculator on my website that'll do all that for you, which I'll link in the description. It can do metric also, so if you're anywhere outside of the United States, you can do metric measurements also. I decided to have the pink on the outside because that's kind of the primary color that I want, and white's going to help separate it from the rest. So now we have this, and I need to use most of this paint. So again, that math was about 370 square inches. Divide that by 25, I get 11 ounces of paint. So I have 6 paints here. I have way more than I probably need, but I am going to, I think I just want to use all the white for the base, and we'll see if I need anything else. That should give me plenty of paint, but I did mix these up just barely, so I have lots more bubbles than you would generally expect to see. If I would have left them for a couple hours, it would look way better using them. All right, so now let's try this. I've got that first bit out. I'm just going to kind of go into a tree ring. See if I can't swap pans without making too much fuss. See, if I get really close, the paint doesn't make a funky pattern. If you get really far out here, see how it kind of wiggles as it goes? So if you don't want the wiggle, you just want to stay nice and low. One thing that I've noticed is I don't like the pattern at the very end. I'm going to kind of go off. Oh, there's way more paint in there than I was expecting. There comes the blue. this way so we can see. See, if I would have had that Hooker's green, I think it just would have taken over. Which is definitely not what we wanted. Make sure the paint actually gets off over there, in that corner. See, this piece right here is going to be the hardest, so I'm just going to try and get it first. I probably could have used my finger to kind of move the paint over there, but this works also. We're just going to take a bunch of this off here. Right. We're going to give this a second and we'll come in for a close-up. Wow, that is an amazingly bright picture. So one thing I am loving is just the bright, bright colors. It is going to dry a bit darker just because some of these are transparent colors, so they're going to dry a bit dark on top of each other. But man, I love that I didn't get very much mud. I got some cool color combinations. Now, one thing that I really love that I think is going to even keep growing are these little white cells that come from the Vallejo pouring medium, and especially right here. Love how beautiful this is. The Vallejo pouring medium really causes that. And if you want to learn how Fiona uses the pearl medium to do a reverse flower dip with that gets tons of little cells like that, then this is the video you want to watch next.